Hello everybody, the Destroyer here, and welcome back to another cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.02, version 5.0.1. Today we have a 4-player free-for-all on Corrupted Buckland to take a look at, which is a custom map made by Maher, which is pretty sweet, I'd say. I do like this map quite a bit, actually. A very nice reskin of Buckland, of course. It's got a nice ambient sound in the background, which really makes a nice map there. Of course, the music playing at the moment is not so fitting, but hey, that's the replay music it's chosen. Anyway, our players today, we have Don Pepita as the Men of the West in the top left. In the bottom left, we have an Elven player, King Thranduil. And then the bottom right, we have Kingluis as Mordor. I'm assuming that's Kingluis and not Kingluis. There's no space, but Kingluis seems more reasonable. And then we have, of course, Motoma as the Dwarves in the top right. So we have a Dwarf, a Mordor, an Elf, and a Man. Yeah, this is a 4-player free-for-all, so of course no teams. It should be hopefully entertaining to watch. And I will do my best to cast it as I move my chair. There we go. Alright, looks like Don Pepita is going for some soldiers. Pretty standard. Got 3 farms, got 3 trees there from King Thranduil getting, has he already got guys? No? Not quite yet. He's getting some Mithlon sentries first. There are, of course, cave trolls and wights, just like regular Buckland. There's also a star on the statue there. And on the other side as well. Pretty cool. Excuse me. And we have Kingluis. He's going for probably Lancers, I'd imagine. He has upgraded his, oh, no, he's actually going for Corsairs of Umbar. Interesting. So Kingluis opting to go for a melee swordsman instead of the cavalry. Of course, no one's under direct threat. It's a free-for-all. You don't know where your enemy is, per se. They could be attacked from either side, so you do have to be careful. Looks like Motoma's going for battle wagons. Very curious. But actually, it'll probably pay off pretty big, I would imagine. At least in the beginning. Looks like Don Pepita has sent some Gondor soldiers to claim the outpost that is in the center of this map, of course. And the longer he holds this, of course, the more resources he's going to get over his opponents, which will be useful for him. I do want to play on this map. I haven't played on it yet, so I'm looking forward to playing on it at some point. The battle wagon with Men of Dale upgrade on it, those should do pretty well. They shoot while they ride, so they're actually pretty freaking strong. There would be no way Gondor can actually stop this as well. Nor can Mordor. Not only can this run over the troops that they have sent out, but it can shoot from a range. The battle wagon is going to be absolutely brutal to stop for everyone else. So Motoma definitely chose wisely. Of course, we do have some Rohan Spearmen from Don Pepita. At least he has something, but of course this can out... as long as he micros around his battle wagon, those will never catch him, and he can pick them off from range like this. Which is a real pain in the ass if you're on the Men of the West side. Believe me, I've been in that situation before. It's not fun. I actually don't... I don't like the fact that battle wagons shoot while they move, personally. It seems a bit OP, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm sure people would disagree with me, but who knows. The fact that you can't catch this, but it can still shoot at you, is kind of annoying. But maybe you just have to get the counter unit, which could be like, say, maybe some Rohirrim or something. I don't know. Omer can do it, I'd imagine. Something fast and horseback, or a flying unit, of course. Looks like we have Kingluis has some Easterlings here and some more Corsairs, and Orc archers and warriors as well. Looks like King Thranduil was on his borders here, right on his doorstep, with a battalion of Mithlon sentries and some archers as well. He has to learn his rally call, trying to keep his archers from getting hit from the melee guys. They're taking arrow fire though, and they will be swiftly cut down by these Corsairs as well. So Thranduil's attack will be foiled here. He is sending more guys. Another thing of sentries and archers. Will he actually get these guys out? Nope, not so much. So he was planning on building something over there, decided not to. Motoma taking his chance to grab up that. He's also got a battle wagon with axe throwers. Those are, of course, better against buildings. Actually pretty effective against buildings, in fact. And Dom Pepita has gone for Omer, which I'd say is a good choice. I'd say his spear throw, in conjunction with him just being alright, he should be able to help counter the battle wagons a bit. Let's see how much those actually do. Wow, those actually do a fair amount. A couple axes should take down a farm in no time. The home of the cave troll being knocked down there. Obviously not destroying it so he can get levels on his Omer. At 4 he gets outlaw leadership. The sooner he gets that, the better, really. Of course he gets resources for kills. Looks like Kingluis is pushing in on King Thranduil. The two self-proclaimed kings, because they have kings in their name. So it looks like Thranduil will fend off King Lewis's attack there. Lewis does have some lancers though, so if he's careful, he could get a nice run through on these archers when they're out of I guess I should say, they're out of position from the Mithlon sentries. How much does the spear throw do? That's kind of underwhelming. I was expecting Omer spear throw to do a lot more than that. So maybe he isn't a very good counter unit like I thought he might be. But those are not going to be enough to stop an entire army of men, so we'll see what happens. And Omer's taking damage as he's trying to catch them. He does have a Prince Brand as well, so Motoma's army is looking... it's pretty good. Definitely be hard to stop. While this is more troops, technically, it's still a possibly stronger force for Motoma, because he does have Prince Brand and the battle wagons. And now he has some phalanxes out in the field, which should help with the defense of the axe throwers, hopefully, if he can get them up there in front. And oh my god, he's got the slam shot. Slam shot's going to be huge, as it usually is. Yeah, actually, it didn't hit a ton of them, but it did hit a fair amount. And now Dom Pepita will retreat. Let's go south and take a look at the action there. Lewis is pushing in on Thranduil here. And he does actually manage to go around the pikes. Thranduil didn't move his pikemen. And his archers got ran through there with the Rodrum Lancers, which is unfortunate. Now Thranduil will have to fall back while these orc archers pepper them. Nice job putting up his guys in a porcupine. Generally a good thing to do, if you're not aware, is put your guys in porcupine formation and then hold ground stance, and they become very tanky and they can sit in front of your archer line. Just hold the line. They don't have to do much damage in return, but they do hold pretty well because they're increased armor combined with the porcupine and otherwise. It's quite a buff. And then of course he had his buff on him, which is also useful. Speaking of buffs, let's take a look at the powers. Dom Pepita, the man of the west in the top left, has Rally Call 4 power points. 516 to 500 command points, so he's actually over his command point limit there. Motoma, the dwarf player in the top right, has 455 of 500. He's got Rally Call 3 power points. He's got Heal, Rally Call 1 power points. And 340 of 585 for King Thranduil. And then we have Tainted Land, Eye of Sauron. 387 of 450 and 1 power point remaining for Kingluis. Looks like he's got a Gothmog, and I just saw a Glorfindel as well for King Thranduil, so heroes are being brought out here. Mordor force looking pretty tough there. And it looks like Dwarves as well. They'll be pushing in on Dom Pepita here. Will he have enough to stop the Dwarven advance? I guess we'll find out. There could be some big slam shots going on, though. Slam shot, like I've said before, is great against the archer line. If he puts his guys all bunched up like this, his slam shot is going to be huge. And here it goes. I'm surprised that didn't do much. Did he hit? I think he hit Boromir with that by accident. Because that would have done a lot more AoE damage at it. Hit a battalion, I would expect. But nonetheless, we do have a Boromir on the field for Dom Pepita now, who is level 1. When he gets level 2, of course, he gets the Horn of Gondor, which could turn the tide of battle for him. Meanwhile, Motoma is using his battle wagons to not only shoot the guys from over here, but destroy the farms. And that's why I hate these. They can multitask, which most units cannot. Which is a real pain. Ah, Omer has returned to his homeland with his Rohirrim consorts. There's a lot of... well, there was a few pikes in there. Rohirrim have been thinned quite a bit. They should be picked off fairly soon. Boromir is level 2, he hit his horn. That should freeze up the rest of them. Hopefully he can clean up these. Nice slam shot there. That's Brand. Spear throw really not hitting its mark there. I mean, it's hitting its mark, but it's just not doing much. And now Kingluis and King Thranduil are at war once again. Center here, almost. A little more towards Thranduil's base. Looks like Mordor's getting the better of the exchange, though, I would say. Possibly. Although Elves bringing in reinforcements here. But these Lancers could change things here, as there is no pikeman for King Thranduil. Actually, it looks like Thranduil is starting to clean up Mordor there. And I think Glorfindel's died. Gothmog's Fury ability. That was unfortunate for him. You do have to watch out for Gothmog. He dies fairly quickly when he's not in Fury mode, but otherwise he's pretty tough. 200% damage is quite a bit. And of course he gets a 50% armor, or 25% armor as well. Orcs near Gothmog gain immunity to fear and terror. There you go. So if you don't want to get scared, bring along Gothmog. Oma's trying his best with his Rohirrim to bring down Prince Brand. Definitely a good idea. Ooh, nice spear throw. Did pretty good amount of damage. Now taking flanking damage. He should be able to clean up Prince Brand before he gets there, and he does. That was an unfortunate loss for Motoma. And now Don Pepita is in a better spot than he was a second ago here, as he was being assaulted in his base. Things look to be calming down over there. Nice building placement here. I'm not sure if he can squeeze in troops between there, but if he can't, then that's pretty nice. So King Thranduil is attacking Kingluis here. This does have a drummer troll, which he did use the fear, but I think he used it too far away. Oh no, these ones are level 5. Those wouldn't have been affected anyway, but these would have. Each wasn't close enough to actually have the effect take effect, I don't think. Troll's kicking ass though. Look at him go. Drummer trolls don't do a lot of damage, but they do knock down, of course, allowing other units to clean them up. It looks like Don Pepita deciding to come over here and clean out both teams with some nice Rohirrim charges from Omer and his Rohirrim. He did lose a battalion of them, I believe, though, or at least a lot of them. Well, they didn't actually lose the battalion, but he lost a fair amount. Both of these teams down here have lost a fair amount of guys because of said charge. And now Boromir leading the men of the West into Dwarven lands. Motoma throwing down his rally call. He's looking to push them back. Looks like he will do so. Motoma's army is looking pretty fierce now. Definitely. He has Men of Dale out in the field now as well, which is definitely going to help out a lot. His is pretty archer heavy. Got Men of Dale on the battle wagons, Men of Dale on the ground. Of course, he's got archers, or Axors, which are ranged units as well. So he's definitely got a more heavy archer range-based army. And of course, he's probably rebuilding Prince Brand, as you would expect. I can't say for sure, but I would imagine. This is a completely waste of time. Okay, he has fire arrows now. Without fire arrows, the arrows from Rohirrim shooting a farm is not going to do a whole lot there. Almost nothing, in fact. It's really not worth the time. We do have Athelian Rangers on the field now. Don Pepita. Of course, he's going to need more pikemen, though. There's some more. He wants to keep them safe from the battle wagons. Does he have fire arrows? I thought I saw him equip fire arrows to his... Yeah, he equipped them to his Rohirrim. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So, having the Rohirrim with fire arrows will also help out. To once he gets rid of all these pikes with his Rohirrim and his archers, he can charge in and clean everything else up with his Rohirrim in spear mode. It's a good idea. Really good tactic to use. It looks like, oh man, Kingluis coming in with the attack trolls. Absolutely brutalizing King Thranduil's army. Gothmog does fall though, and one of the attack trolls falls. The second one will follow here. But they did some damage. But nonetheless, a costly endeavor. Attack trolls are not cheap. Neither is Gothmog. And the Elves do hold there. So King Thranduil is safe for now. Although he does have this barricade expansion up here, which is a bit annoying, I imagine. Looks like Glorfindel will take care of that. There's also a single Horadrim archer that he's neglecting to pay attention to here. Will actually take the life of an elf there. A life is not needed to die. But of course, he is next to a well. It's not really a big deal. And all these guys will heal up. Or mirror, rather. Mirror Galadriel. That's a well. Of course. Same shit, different faction. Motoma does not have a hearth of his own. Which, he could build a hearth, assuming he has the money. Motoma hasn't ventured out very far. Dom Pepita now has Tom Bombadil and 8 power points. That's what's new for him. We have Rebuild for Motoma. I don't know if he had Heal before. We have Elven Wood for King Thranduil. Looks like Glorfindel being chased off by a large army of men there. 8 power points remaining there, and we of course got the barricade and 10 power points remaining for Kingluis. So Mordor is definitely getting some power points. He's getting up there. Not very quickly. I mean, he's nowhere near 25 power, but he's close to getting a 15. 5 points off. Should result in a barrage or something of that nature. I can't remember. I never remember the tech tree. Power tree, whatever you want to call it. It's not a tech tree. That's for some entirely different game with tech in it, I guess. Glorfindel leading the Elves against the Men of the West. Rohirrim will flee into the east. And it does have Mirkwoods now. Definitely what you want to go for late game Elves. Mirkwoods are so hard to stop. Mirkwoods and Mithlon sentries. And Elven heroes these are with Ents. It's just so hard to stop late game, and then Noldors, of course. You gotta have your Noldors. Late game Elves are definitely one of the stronger teams in the game, and very hard to deal with. I have extreme trouble dealing with them, and I usually don't, and end up dying. So there's that. But if you play Elves correctly, and don't just throw your armies away, you have potential to win game easily. Looks like Motoma has a problem here. The archer's picking off his mines from range, which is nice for him. He's also doing a good job keeping a battalion of pike in his guys. Of course, battle wagons will not want to go anywhere near that. Let's go down south, see what's up. Lewis versus Thranduil once again. Lewis has brought out the catapults. Looks like Glorfindel is killed once again. Tactical falls for Lewis there. And the Orc archers are out archering the archer faction there. It's unfortunate. They do have a Tin Land and a Eye buff on them as well. It does help. Kingluis continuing to break out the attack trolls. Attack trolls and catapults, good strat against Elves. A late game elf, if you don't come with the catapults or siege weapon, you won't win, basically. It's very, very difficult. You really need to kind of spam catapults, or whatever your siege weapon is, to actually deal with the elf rangers. Generally speaking, they have the range and the damage to actually take out most of your shit before you get to them. Which, as you could imagine, could be a bit of an issue for you. We have a cool yellow glow for the farms there. It looks like they're corrupted almost. It almost looks like a green glow hue for the marketplace benefit that Don Pepita is having, of course, which is 12% boost to all his farms from the marketplace, just having it on the field, which is nice. And is also, if you have a teammate who's Men of the West, it also benefits them as well, which is nice. So only one of your teams has to teammates has to get it. Pretty cool stuff. Same goes for lumber mills from Fuel the Fires. If an Isengard player gets that, any other evil team mate of his will benefit. Somebody used Cloudbreak there. That would be Don Pepita. Of course, that doesn't affect siege weapons. Sounds like Omer's been wounded up here. Throwing down a heal there, very nice. Motoma's in a lot of trouble. Don Pepita is really being aggressive. He's got rid of the archery range, which is really going to probably seal the deal. He's just got so many rangers. It's going to be impossible for the dwarves, or yeah, the dwarves to deal with. Although his battle wagons are still alive, and they're going to get a nice run through on all these Philly Rangers. Oh, it's so brutal. Look at them disappear. What was once a proud and mighty Men of the West army is now a flattened pile of roadkill. Ooh, one of the battle wagons falls, though. This one's very close. Of course, battle wagons in patch 2.02 5.0.1 cannot enter mine shafts. That was a bug fix made so that there was a bug. If you put Men of Dale on your battle wagon and put them into a mineshaft, they would shoot out of the mineshaft. And even if the mineshaft was destroyed, they would continue to shoot from that area, even though there's nothing there. And that is a fix for that bug, basically, because there is no way to really fix the bug without doing that. So that was the staff solution to that. Just make it so they can't go into mineshafts, which seems fair enough. They're still quick enough to actually get around the map. I think it doesn't really put a huge benefit to anyone else or unbalance things too much. As you might imagine, that's a small price to pay for having a huge bug, in my opinion. It's a bug that I've always seen abused in patch 1.06 of Battlefield Earth 2. So, happy with that being gone. Looks like the Elves have held. And now let's see what's going on up here. Dom Pepita's continuing to pressure Motoma. Looks like he's going for a double-pronged attack in his base. Rohirrim, led by Omer, raiding the north, and then Boromir and Aragorn leading the charge with the rest of the men in the south. King Dane leading the defense of the dwarves. Motoma, I don't think it's going to be enough. And Aragorn, as soon as he uses Blade Master, it's going to absolutely cut through King Dane's head right there. Assuming he does. I'm surprised he doesn't turn around and just destroy him. There he goes. As you see, of course, King Dane has no chance against Aragorn, who's using Blade Master. Not many heroes do. Oh, looks like he wanted to kill off Prince Brand. Can't blame him for that. He's also summoned a Tom Bombadil. Gloin's jumped out in the field, came back out. He's heard knocking on his door and has come to answer to find an angry mob at his doorstep. Unfortunately for Motoma, this game is going to end for him very shortly. We have Men of Dale being summoned in to try and save Dwarven Fortress. I don't think it's going to be enough. Boromir has frozen them in place as well with his Horn of Gondor. There goes King Dane finally falling. Rebuild going down the fort, of course. Gloin is holding him off as well as he can. A nice slam would be good there, but he probably won't have any time. No. And now it is only a matter of time before the Dwarven Fortress falls. Meanwhile, the Elves are being attacked pretty heavily by Mordor here. Gothmog leading the charge. Does he have the leadership for orcs now? He does indeed. He's level 6. He gets that level 5. So as long as he's next to the army, he does benefits. We do have a Nazgul as well, Morgamir, on the field, who is giving the Dread Visage to the enemy. It's going to be pretty nasty. Of course, probably the best way to use a Nazgul against the Elves, not use him on his mount. Using him on his mount will usually end up in your Nazgul dying very quickly. As you would expect for an archer faction against a flying unit. Doesn't look like Motoma has been finished off yet. We'll hold for now, but I think it's only a matter of time before Dom Pepita actually destroys him. Now, the Drummer Troll is really angry here. Him and the archers taking down some stuff. Looks like the Drummer Troll will fall there, though. He is benefiting from the eye, of course, and the Tainted Land still. He also has a barricade right there. Also getting some Haradrim archers, which are great archers. Definitely better than the Orc archers, but Orc archers will do in a pinch, of course. And in conjunction with the Dread Visage from the Nazgul, they do eat through these guys pretty nicely. Probably not smart to keep your Nazgul in aggressive stance as well. He takes a lot of damage, and Nazgul don't have the highest amount of armor, so I wouldn't recommend that, personally. Motoma trying desperately to get his builder out of there. But unfortunately, the builder will fall, and as will the fortress. And that will be the end for Motoma in this game. The men of the West have their upgrades as well. Dom Pepita getting the Forged Blades, heavy armor. Banner carries out. And of course, he has the arrow upgrade as well. Oh, will he have time to do the oil kegs? No. As they drop them in disappointment. Like, nope, we give up. Motoma's been defeated. So Dom Pepita victorious in the north. It looks like King Thranduil has fended it off Mordor's attack. But Mordor will push in once again, so King Thranduil will have to fend off Kingluis very shortly, I would imagine. He didn't lose his Nazgul, which is good. But it also means that Dom Pepita is free to attack whoever he pleases. Now, the dwarves are dealt with. He's really dealt with his threat. I'm also surprised Dom Pepe doesn't claim this outpost. I think King Thranduil has had the outpost for most of the game, just because everybody's been ignoring it. Which is a bit of an oversight in my opinion, but oh well. Of course, Dom Pepe probably doing just fine in the economy front. He's got 1,210 resource limit, command point limit. Means he has a fair amount of farms. King Thranduil only has 775, and Kingluis has 600. So you see the difference. Farms there. We have a battering ram from Mordor. Looks like Kingluis was going for some sort of siege, but unfortunately Dom Pepe did just show up at the wrong time. Yeah, it looks like we have barrage for Kingluis. He also has 25 point power with the power points. Oh, looks like we have an earthquake as well. King Thranduil getting hit very hard, and the Rohirrim looking to clean up the fortress possibly. Looks like King Thranduil has an Elven cloud break there. Kingluis hasn't bought a 25 point power yet, which is kind of surprising. He can get Balrog or Fire's Doom. Either one would be great here. Fire Doom would kill the... It might kill the fortress, and as well as all the Rohirrim. Okay, he's going for Balrog. I hope he uses it soon. Thing is, he can't see over here. As you see here, it's very blacked out. All he can see is around his immediate area, of course. He is pushing up north to take out as much as he can. Of course, doesn't want to let Dom Pepe get too big. If he gets too much land in the north, too much map control, it's going to be very hard to get him out of there. There goes King Thranduil's fortress. And Antelope soon follows there. King Thranduil will definitely be the next player out of this game, I would imagine. Glorfindel, the last hero, looking to do some damage. The Middle and West are regrouping there. Dom Pepe will be rebuilding his forces, probably to crush the Elves once and for all. Although he does have to worry about Kingluis and his Mordor troops, so we'll see what happens with that. He does have a Mumik on the field now. Definitely a good choice. But these will be brought down by archer fire fairly quickly if he's not careful. Rohirrim with archer with bows. I'm not sure how good they are against Mumikil, but I know archers are the way to counter Mumikil, like rangers and such. But so I'd imagine they do all right. You just got to watch out for the charge. That Mumikil charge, of course, can be absolutely devastating if you get hit by it with a clumped army. And now he's pushing in with his heroes and tower guards as well. So there's some rangers there. King Thranduil is going to do one last stand here, I think. But it'll be very swift. He'll be destroyed here. As soon as he loses his second barracks, he is out of the game. Fairly certain that is his last building, his production building. Of course, if Men of the West are smart, though, he would go around and destroy all of his buildings before destroying the barracks. That way he can get the max amount of power points out of him. But is it really necessary? Maybe not. Now Mordor is pushing in with their attack. He does have his Balrog in reserve. Keep that in mind. Has not been used yet. Men of the West almost have enough for Army of the Dead. That could be the saving grace for Dom Pepe, assuming he can get the amount of power points he needs. Because, of course, Balrog will fall very quickly to the Army of the Dead. And even Balrog's melee attack doesn't hurt the Army of the Dead. Only his Breathe Fire does. Which I've said is a little silly, because apparently the Shade of the Wolf, his melee attack kills Army of the Dead. Balrog's doesn't. It's a little silly, but whatever. I think it should. I think Balrog's melee attack should be considered magical. Unfortunately, the Mumikil has fell there. Fallen, rather. Catapult's doing pretty good damage to the archery range. It'll be a while before they take those out, though. And this Trebuchet should be able to take these catapults out far before they actually destroy it. Kingluis does still have a couple of attack trolls and Easterlings, as well as his Nazgul there. And it sounds like he has got his Army of the Dead. Unfortunately for him, though, he has used it when Balrog has not been used. Of course, you can't just assume the enemy has Balrog, but the enemy does have Balrog, of course. who's deciding not to use it, oddly enough. After seeing that used, I would totally use it right here under these Rohirrim. Stop them in their tracks and kill them while exploding under them. That's really what he needs to do here. Because the Rohirrim are the biggest threat. These will dissipate, of course, before they get here. Well, I guess the Rohirrim maybe not. Well, yeah. Aragorn could be considered, but of course if he claims the throne, then Mordor will fall. But of course that's not how that works in an RTS game. Oh shit, is he going to move from the Gorgoroth Spire? He is not. Nice Gorgoroth Spire, absolutely obliterating the Rohirrim. Only a few stragglers get away. Hopefully they get picked off by the Moonkill's archer fire. Yeah, they will rebuild. Their battalions will reform. Because there is a well here, and he does have level 5 and such on them as well. Those ones are level 2. Of course, level 2 is all you need for a banner. Looks like, I think that was Theoden. That's definitely Theoden. Theoden falling to the Moonkill's archer fire on top. Getting him level 2 and some more paint and such. I do like the visual upgrade change when Moonkill levels up. Pretty neat. Dom Pepita can actually lose this game. But he can also win the game. Just depends on what happens, really. Mordor is really being too conservative with his Balrog. I'm not sure why. Is he hoping to get Rain of Fire, destroy the fortress, everything with it, and then finish it off with Balrog? Because I don't know if that's a great idea. What he really needs to do is get rid of the army and everything else of the Men of the West to push a counterattack against Don Pepita. So perhaps Kingluis is making a mistake by not using his Balrog sooner. Okay, he has used it, but where? In the base. There you go. Does have an attack troll there. Perhaps a bit, being sent in a bit premature, I think. If he sent that in after the Balrog, that might have been a bit better, as it would have taken pretty much a hell of a lot less arrow fire. Balrog's not great against forts. I mean, an upgraded fort, it will take a while for him to kill. He may actually not. And of course, the Men of the West will have rebuild. I mean, he doesn't, but he can get it easily. Dom Pepita, his Earthquake is pretty much ready to go. And unfortunately for Mordor, he has let the Men of the West have both signal fires for most of the game. His Earthquake came back very fast. So that is not good for him. There's the Earthquake. That's going to destroy the majority of Kingluis' base here. And of course there's a siege weapon, a couple siege weapons in fact, a couple trebuchets, and the Men of the West army coming in to finish him off. He does not have magma cauldrons either. Even if he did, it wouldn't matter. There's 2 siege weapons in the back, and these would probably live through it anyways. The buffs and such. But unfortunately, Mordor will fall here, and Men of the West will be victorious. So yeah, not too bad. It's nice to see a game played on this map. I'm hoping to see more games played on this map. And the alternate Fords of Eisen 2, spooky Fords. I like that one as well. Definitely a cool map I will be featuring at some point when I find a game cast on it, or 2 cast on it. And there you go, Kingluis has been defeated, and Don Pepita is the winner of this 4-player free-for-all on Corrupted Buckland. So yeah, pretty good game, I thought, and I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. So I will see you guys in the next cast of patch 2.2 of Rise of the Witch King. See you next time!